My wife took scissors to my daughter's waist-length hair while she was asleep. She was getting vain, she said with a shrug. She needed to learn humility. I looked her dead in the eye and answered, "Here's your lesson." Then I picked up the phone and had her arrested for assaulting a child. The smirk vanished the moment the handcuffs snapped shut. I'm 35, a widower, and the only parent my daughter Emma, now 12, has known for the last 8 years. Her mom was killed in a car wreck when Emma was 4. For 6 years, it was just the two of us against the world. Then 2 years ago, I met Rachel, 31. We dated, fell in love, and 6 months ago we got married. Emma was 10 when Rachel entered our lives. Emma is bright, kind, artistic, and yes, she has always loved her long blonde hair that fell almost to her waist. She has taken care of it herself since she was little. Washing, conditioning, brushing it every night before bed. She once told me it makes her feel like her mom is still with her. That hair was sacred to her. Before anyone says I missed the warning signs, let me be clear. Rachel hid who she really was until the ring was on her finger. During dating and engagement, she was wonderful to Emma. Took her shopping, braided her hair, told her how pretty she looked. Emma actually liked her. The mask started slipping 2 months after the wedding. Rachel began criticizing the amount of time Emma spent getting ready for school. "You're becoming obsessed with your looks," she'd say. "You're turning vain." I shut it down every time, told her caring about your appearance at 12 is normal and healthy. Then came the rules. No mirror for more than 2 minutes, no selfies, no trying on clothes just for fun. Rachel called it building inner beauty and preventing narcissism. I sat her down repeatedly and told her to stop policing my daughter's perfectly normal behavior. She'd nod, apologize, and then do it again the moment I left the room. 3 weeks ago, she crossed a new line. While Emma was at school, Rachel threw every single hair clip, ribbon, headband, and scrunchie into the trash. Emma came home in tears. Rachel stood there smiling and said, "We're learning that real beauty comes from within." I made Rachel get in the car that same evening, drive to the store, and replace every item with her own money. I thought I had finally gotten through to her. I was wrong. Last weekend, I had to fly to Chicago for a mandatory 3-day work conference. I offered to have Rachel's sister stay over or pay our neighbor to check in, but Rachel insisted they'd be fine. Saturday night, Emma FaceTimed me, bubbling about the deep conditioning mask she'd tried and the crown braid she'd mastered from YouTube. She looked happy. I went to bed relieved. Sunday at 6 a.m., my phone lit up with calls. Emma was hysterical, sobbing so hard I could barely make out the words. "Dad, my hair." She cut it all off while I was sleeping. I told her to lock her bedroom door and not to come out until I got there. I threw my clothes in my bag, checked out, and drove 4 hours home like a maniac. I will never unsee what I walked into. My little girl's beautiful hair was gone, hacked off in brutal, uneven chunks. Some sections were shaved almost to the scalp, others hung in jagged strings. It looked like an act of violence. Emma was curled on her bed, clutching fistfuls of the severed hair she'd found on her pillow, whispering over and over, "She cut Mommy's hair off." I held her while she shook, promised her 1,000,000 times this wasn't her fault, and then I went looking for Rachel. She was in the kitchen flipping pancakes, humming like it was any other Sunday. She turned with a bright smile. "You're home early." I gave Emma a little haircut last night. She was getting way too attached to her looks. I stared at her in disbelief. "You waited until she was asleep and cut her hair with scissors?" "She needed a lesson in humility," she said, as if she'd done something noble. All that primping was turning her into a shallow little princess. You are not her mother. You had no right to touch her. Her face twisted. Well, someone has to teach her that beauty isn't everything. Her mother obviously never did. Look how that turned out. She actually sneered the last part, referring to my dead wife. Something inside me went deadly calm. I said, "Here is your lesson," turned on my heel and walked away before I put my hands on her. First call. Emma's pediatrician, who confirmed this was assault and told me to get police involved immediately. Second call. My divorce attorney, leaving a frantic voicemail asking for emergency filings. Third call. Police non-emergency line. Officer Ramirez arrived within the hour. He took one look at Emma's head, his jaw clenched, and he started taking photos for evidence. He interviewed Emma gently. She told him she woke up to the cold feeling on her neck, reached up, felt almost nothing, and opened her eyes to see Rachel standing over her holding scissors and handfuls of blonde hair. Rachel tried to spin it. It was just a trim that got out of hand. Officer Ramirez wasn't having it. "Ma'am, you don't accidentally shear a sleeping child's waist-length hair to the scalp. This is assault on a minor." He placed her under arrest on the spot. The look on Rachel's face when the cuffs went on was pure shock. She started screaming that I was insane, that it was just hair, that I was destroying her life. Officer Ramirez calmly informed her that non-consensual cutting of hair is assault in our state, and doing it to a sleeping child makes it child abuse. He put her in the back of the cruiser while she wailed. Rachel spent Sunday night in jail, posted bail Monday, and by Tuesday I had a restraining order. She has been blowing up burner phones and having her family harass me ever since, begging me to drop the charges. Not a chance. The DA is moving forward with assault and child endangerment charges. My divorce attorney says the police report and photos make this the cleanest case he's ever handled. Rachel will never be alone with my daughter again. Emma was inconsolable for weeks. A top salonist named Michelle worked miracles, shaping the damage into an adorable pixie cut that actually suits her. Emma looked in the mirror, burst into angry tears, and said, "I hate that I like it, because I didn't get to choose." That sentence broke me all over again. Rachel didn't just cut hair. She stole Emma's bodily autonomy while she slept, destroyed a living link to her dead mother, and made her terrified in her own bedroom. We started therapy immediately. Emma still checks the lock on her door 3 times every night. Rachel's family keeps calling me cruel, saying, "It's just hair. It'll grow back." They don't get it. This was never about hair. This was about an adult sneaking into a child's room in the dark with a weapon and permanently altering her body out of spite. The criminal case is proceeding. Rachel's attorney tried to claim parental grooming rights. The judge shut that down fast, stating that no relationship status gives someone the right to assault a sleeping child. Rachel violated the restraining order by driving past Emma's school multiple times. Bail revoked. She's been in jail since the preliminary hearing. Emma testified over closed-circuit TV. When the defense attorney suggested maybe she had agreed to a trim, Emma looked straight into the camera and said, "I was asleep. How do you consent when you're unconscious?" The courtroom went dead silent. Trial starts in 2 weeks. The prosecutor is seeking jail time and a permanent no-contact order. Emma asked if she could read a victim impact statement. She wants the judge to know what it feels like to wake up and find pieces of your mother scattered on your pillow. She wants the world to know you should feel safe when you close your eyes at night. Rachel was convicted yesterday on both counts, assault and child endangerment. Sentence: 18 months in prison, 3 years probation, mandatory anger management and parenting classes, and a permanent order barring her from any contact with minors without supervision. The judge called Rachel's actions predatory and deeply disturbing, saying that entering a child's room at night to forcibly cut her hair showed a complete lack of empathy and an alarming need to control and punish. Emma stood up in court and read her statement without shaking once. She talked about losing the last physical tie to her mom, about being afraid to fall asleep, about how she measures her hair every morning now and celebrates every millimeter because it means she's taking her body back. There wasn't a dry eye in the room, including some of the jurors. Rachel cried and tried to mouth, "I'm sorry," from the defendant's table. Too late. The divorce was finalized the same week. Rachel gets nothing, no assets, no alimony, no visitation, nothing. Emma's hair is shoulder length again. She's decided not to grow it back to her waist anymore. She wants to try new styles, new colors, new versions of herself, on her own terms. She told me she's going to donate the length she grows to kids who lost their hair to cancer. That's the kind of heart she has. Rachel thought she was teaching my daughter humility. Instead, she taught her that some adults are dangerous, that trust can be weaponized, and that her dad will move heaven and earth to protect her. Emma is healing. She is fierce, funny, and stronger than anyone has the right to be at 12. She is safe now. She sleeps with her door unlocked again, because she knows no one in this house will ever hurt her. That's all I ever wanted. And Rachel is exactly where she belongs, learning her own lesson behind bars.